were training for more than just this fight. They were training for a campaign. They were training for a major run. So let's see if he's able to take the step the way they want him to. Remember, first rounds of Tyson fights are usually explosive no matter what.
Well, Mike Tyson, according to Jeff Fennick, wants to punish the body in the first round. We've heard the term, we've even joked about it, we even said it together. He wants to gut him like a fish.
But
David and I are big fans of The Godfather. We like those things. As you take a look at the tail of the tape, you see that Tyson is a much smaller man. He's an older man. He's 6 years older. He's giving away, golly, some 30 pounds in weight. 7 inches in height, 13 inches in reach. Everything is in favor of Kevin McBride. Everything except boxing ability, that is. He's coming off a win over Kevin Monty, a 5-round stoppage, and Mike is coming off a loss to Manny Williams, where he injured his knee. Scoring 10-point must, no 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the ref can stop the fight, and we'll talk about the accidental headbutt rule if it becomes pertinent during the progression of this fight. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by. There's tremendous anticipation. The world is watching wherever you are. There are troops in the Middle East, across the United States, the Pacific Rim, across Africa, South America. Dave Bontempo and the Colonel Bob Sheridan here, and there he is, Mike Tyson. Nobody excites you more in boxing. There's no place I'd rather be than here. Here's Jimmy Lennon. Now, Jimmy's not quite ready yet. No, yeah, he is. We're going to get that showtime. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the MCI Center here in Washington, D.C., as it's time for the featured bout of the evening, and it's all brought to you by Raging Promotions, the Stuckey Group, BMG Boxing, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the District of Columbia Boxing and Wrestling Commission, the chairman, Dr. Arnold McKnight, Commissioner Mabel Boatwright, and the Deputy Commissioner, Alfred Grant. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. William Strudwick, Dr. Don Carroll, and Dr. Anthony Campbell. Our timekeeper at the bell is Andre Davis, keeping count of the knockdowns, Paul McGarvey. Introducing to you at this time our 3 judges, all from Washington, D.C., Paul Artiste, Tammy Jenkins, and Stephen Rados. And our referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Joe Cortez. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing and a heavyweight special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Washington, D.C., it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing tartan trunks, fighting out of Dorchester, Massachusetts, by way of Clonus, Ireland. He weighed in at 271 pounds with a record of 32 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. He has 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the heavyweight champion of Ireland, known as the Clonus Colossus, introducing Kevin McBride. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, really needing no introduction the world over, wearing black trunks and hailing from Catskill, New York. His weight already 233 pounds. His record 50 wins, 5 losses, 2 no contests, with 44 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the youngest man ever to hold the heavyweight title, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the one and only Iron Mike Tyson. Once again, Joe Cortez is our referee in charge. 10-round scheduled bout.
Well, Joe Cortez is in charge and he calls him in.
I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Punches here are good, punches here are good. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch him up.
He's fair, but he's firm. He's about the best man I can think of to referee this fight, a veteran of 137 championship fights, Joe Cortez from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, one of the very best in the business. Mike Tyson under the tutelage of Jeff Fennick of Australia. Jeff Fennick, the two-time Hall of Famer. He's in both Halls of Fame.
A great guy to have in your corner, good guy for motivational purposes, get to talk, to relate to Mike Tyson. For McBride, this first round is about his nerves and about his chin. They will both be tested.
All right, let's see what happens. McBride kind of taunts Tyson as Tyson moves around. Is it another Peter McNeely deal, or can he survive the first couple of rounds? Kevin McBride is a colossal man. All my friends, including my mother-in-law, Mary Kelly, watching in Ireland, seeing what the big kid from Ireland can do. He attacks Mike with a light left hand, nothing there. Mike bobbing, weaving, and goes right downstairs, and the big guy tries to put his weight on him. Kevin McBride, decked out in the tartan trunks. Mike in his traditional black trunks stands in front of him, showing some movement side to side. It's something we haven't seen in recent fights by Mike. Big question, don't forget, he hurt his knee against Danny Williams in his last fight, and it eventually cost him the fight. The big guy from Clones in County Monaghan in Ireland pounds away at the head of Mike Tyson. So far, Mike hasn't done anything. There he loads up a body shot, but it whistles past the big belly of the Colossus guy from Clones in Ireland.
And during his glory days, Mike Tyson had that great head movement on the inside. He championed defense first and then launched into his punches. Mike Tyson's defense during his glory days is probably the most underrated aspect of his game. He was a great defensive fighter to set up his attack.
You see him feinting a little bit, trying to get McBride to shift. He feinted with the right-hand lead and then came with the left hook. So Fennick has him doing some things, even though Mike, in the interview in the dressing room, didn't seem to give him that kind of credit. But I can see things that Mike is doing tonight that he wasn't able to do in a couple of his previous fights against Etienne, even though he was successful, and certainly against big Lennox Lewis. Here he's not panicking. He's taking his time. He goes upstairs. The crowd goes nuts, but these punches are falling short. McBride hangs on him, tries to pound him with the free hand. McBride is a giant of a man. Look at this. He's not afraid of him, I'll say that.
No, well, there has been no fear of Mike Tyson. A lot of his recent opponents, because of what's happened to Danny Williams, showed that. So we will see a gutsiness here by McBride, try to use his size. Boy, the crowd jumped up when he threw that left hook, even though it was short.
Well, there's no question the crowd very heavy in favor. You know, this fight was in Boston and New York. You might get a good Irish crowd out here. But this is a different kettle of fish here in Washington, D.C. They're Mike Tyson fans here. And there's some good Irish joints, by the way, in this town, but not enough to support Kevin McBride. They're here to see Mike Tyson knock this guy out. Oh, Mike just whistled that right hand past the jaw. There's the left hook, a punishing body shot, cracking to the ribs, that one to the hip. Tyson loading up shots, and look at this guy. McBride trying to hang in there and give it all he has against the one-time great Mike Tyson. Now Mike has stopped the head movement, loads up the right hand, sails up over the shoulder of the big guy. You know, it's a big jump because this guy is massive. 30 seconds to go, Dave, in the first round.
That's why he wanted to go to the body and gut him like a fish, try to get him down a level, and then open him up for that left hook to the head, which has always been a phenomenal signature punch for Tyson.
It's a tough job for Joe Cortez, but he's doing a good job so far. He's strong enough to handle these guys. You know, I'll tell you, that's a tough job. Now look at this guy trying to get the jab out there. Mike has only come to the body once. You know something? The Colossus has won the first round. I think he'll get the round on the scorecards. He certainly did more than Mike.
And he got through it. Big thing in terms of getting himself settled in emotionally here.
On my scorecard, McBride has won the first round. So the people in Ireland are thrilled, especially around County Monaghan. The big factor for McBride is that he's not afraid, and that's a real important thing. Jeff Fennick talking to Mike.
The overhead view, here's Tyson coming in. Good left hook there as McBride wants to try and contain Tyson here after Tyson had been going to the body. Launching the big left hook in for McBride, fortunately about 2 inches to spare before it hit his chin. So he had the good reflexes there to knock off the shot. Tyson did manage to go to the body, good right hand, and working underneath against the bigger guy. Throughout his career, Mike Tyson did have a lot of trouble against taller guys.
Well, he might be having a little bit of trouble presently. That one shot to the body was the only shot. Now Jeff Fennick has told him to get some more movement again with the upper trunk and start to pick it up a little bit. He lunges a la David too, and now Tyson is on the assault. Now there's a sense of urgency. Now he wants to stop this guy. Now he wants to pick up the pace, and the crowd loves it. Big McBride hangs in there and bangs him on the inside. He is not afraid of this guy. Joe Cortez trying to let him fight, but when they get tied up, he has to separate the two. McBride not exactly huffing and puffing. He protects his face. Goes to the left-hand lead that time. He's got his shoulders squared up a little bit too much to get power with his right hand when he lets it fly. He's got to throw some right hands and try to nail Tyson.
At some point, he'll gamble and see what that brings him. He's had a little bit of a survivalist mode at certain points of the fight, given Tyson's aura, and he's been working through that, showing he's not afraid at other times in this fight. He needs to pop the jab out, use the reach, and try to neutralize Mike Tyson. Taller fighters have been able to go long rounds with him.
Well, you know, he's trying to do that, Dave. He ties him up on the inside, and when he stays outside the kill zone of Mike is having difficulty trying to reach him with his jab, and then, you know, that's why he left his feet to throw that big left hook. Mike has got to do what Fennick trained him to do, and that's work the body downstairs. He tries to do that, but McBride pulls out, and he doesn't get hit. That replay we showed you in between rounds was the only big body shot that Mike hit him with in the entire first round. And so far, no shots have been landed in this round. This round's up for grabs. Either guy can win this round.
And if McBride gets through the first two, you know, his confidence level has to soar, regardless of what happens, just because nothing has been expected of him here, and he'll see himself in this fight, and he'll see himself being in position to contend if he's still here, say, a couple of rounds from now.
Well, they're satisfied to have their left side tied up on the case of McBride and the right side of Tyson, and Whale with the free hand. Now Mike hit him with a good body shot. He comes back upstairs, and there's a legal shot that time, and Joe says you got to keep it up. But you know something, last week I saw Ricky Hatton hit Costa Zoo with a low blow that really turned the tide of the fight. So even though it's illegal, unless you lose the point or lose the round, you know, it really helps you.
And sometimes it's even worse if you lose the point if it's the right low blow.
That's true. Tyson, no stranger to doing strange things in the ring, but that wasn't intentional. That was just one of those things, because after all, he is 7 inches shorter than this guy. The thing that I like about McBride, and I'm proud to say I'm Irish, is that he's showing some Irish toughness in there.
Yeah, he's showing that, and he's staying on the outside. Yeah, if he could jab and stay outside and keep the jab in Tyson's face, he's going to be here a while.
Got to throw some more right hands with bad malice and forethought. Hey, who are you giving the second round to?
You need to McBride here.
I got to give it to McBride, too. Tyson didn't land anything big, and McBride was a busier of the two. I get McBride winning the first 2 rounds of this fight. Tyson so far can't get to him. There he is, Kevin McBride. Now, mind you, Dave, he can't afford to make any mistakes either.
Not one. He has to have a perfect fight in order to be around at the end. But there's a leaping hook by Tyson, misses, and McBride able to get his in while Mike Tyson's leaping at him. There's some vintage uppercut work by Tyson. The left hook missing. You don't see Tyson missing many left hooks. You saw 2 in a row there that he did. Now let's check on the low blow by Tyson. It is low. He's backing up, and the left hook got in low, and he was warned by Joe Cortez.
He's going to need some of Russell Cates and Jono's pain away to take care of that situation. Here's McBride with his uppercut.
He misses over the top there, but the uppercut against the smaller fighter is there, and there he's able to score with it. And so we are into round 3.
All right, here we go. This is round number 3. MCI said, let's see if Mike can pick up the pace early here. McBride knows how to tie him up early. Mike is getting a little bit frustrated with this big guy, and Joe Cortez is realizing it, wants to make it clean. The last thing Joe wants to do is to have to disqualify Mike, and they had that conversation in the dressing room, and Mike is paying attention. I feel a sense of urgency with Mike. Can you see it in his eyes?
Oh, yeah, because he is having trouble getting inside on this guy, and he knows that he has to. And remember, hey, guys like Frank Bruno and go all the way back. James Bone Crusher Smith held on for 12 rounds. It's never been a style he likes. This guy is down in the level of class, but he's a lot older.
Yeah, he is, and does his punches have the same power that they had? I mean, his body looks in magnificent shape, but there's no way a 38-year-old man can do what he could do when he was 28, or in that matter, in his case, 20. But McBride is hanging in there, and it's making it interesting for as long as it goes. McBride uses his big body, pushes down on Mike. And that's the way to fight this guy. Bone Crusher lost every round, but the situation in this fight is that McBride is winning rounds. Tyson's having his best round of the fight, or at least the best minute of the fight for the first minute of this third round.
Yeah, McBride has looked like Bone Crusher's style many times in this fight, either tying up and trying to slow down the pace of the fight, but he walked into a gigantic hook there.
And he's gobbled it up. He's on his feet all right. His legs are a little bit loose in the knees right now, and his heels look a little bit heavy. Might be able to land something to the body there as he goes fishing downstairs, trying to gut him. But they seem to be satisfied of hooking up, and in Mike Tyson's case, the right side, and in McBride's side, the left side, and here's the uppercuts by Mike. And every time Mike does something good, he caught him that time. Did he hurt him? I don't know, but his legs look a little bit heavy. Mike has landed some significant blows, and he's winning this round.
He's starting to get a real edge in the power department in this round, and to the body, as he promised. He has landed some excellent body shots in this fight, hoping to set up a situation for the head to open.
McBride just took a big, deep breath. He's got to throw some right hands. Right now, he's on the catching side. He's got to get offensive-minded. Mike is going to come right through him. I mean, this hanging on and that whatnot got him through the first couple of rounds, but here in the third round, Mike has turned it up a notch. He's just trying to chop down the big tree right now, and that's what the situation reminds me of.
McBride was more aggressive in the first two rounds, took his shots, and here he's down to one at a time, taking the uppercut from long distance, which is risky, that you open your whole side up for a counter shot. He does now need to open up a lot.
But let me tell you something, Dave. He's hit him on two real good occasions and perhaps a third, crushing body shots to the rib. And I believe that that's taken a toll at this early stage on McBride. There's another body shot right in the liver area. And Mike is chopping him down right now. You chop that body and the hands will come down. And that's what happened to McBride in the third. That's a Tyson round.
That's a chop round, indeed.
That's a significant round for the bettors because it was an over and under 3, you know, for in Las Vegas for how long this fight would go as we listen to Jeff Fennick.
Oh, no, you're one, champ. Here you go, champ. Leave that straight for me.
And we'll take a look at Tyson having his best round. Jab getting through. He works the body significantly well. Showing some patience, McBride imploring him in. And Tyson would have his best round working the body in round 3, and he also landed a tremendous left hook to the head right there as McBride was coming in. McBride fortunately was close enough to hold him and prevent further damage.
We're at the MCI Center in Washington. We say hello to Ronnie Nash and everybody watching in Melbourne, Australia, the whole family. Say last week in Manchester, great to see the family. Big right hand that time by Mike Tyson to open up the fourth round. There it is again, the body shot. Now the big guy from Ireland takes another shot. Here's Mike on the assault, and it has the crowd in a frenzy as he pulls right from the body. He really blasts into the body right there. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, he is hurt now. He came out and nailed him a couple times, and hurt McBride, got him to the head, hurt him there, and he's stepping it up another level, and might have an opportunity to finish it.
Yeah, Dave, you know, the big thing is that it's McBride that needs to turn it up a notch now. Mike has turned it up, but he's turned it up. Oh, there's a real low blow that time. And Joe Cortez doesn't say much about it. You got to say something about these low blows. There's the uppercut, but it doesn't shift McBride. He has to hang on. But Mike Tyson has turned the boxing around in this fourth round. He started in the third, and he's continuing. Pummels him to the body. Those ribs are going to really be sore. The uppercut. Now Mike is getting ready to tee up. Bangs that body again. This guy has got to be hurt to the body. If he's talking about gutting him like a fish, he's doing it right now with his powerful body shot.
And we've never seen Mike Tyson work the body as much in one fight as he did in the beginning of this one.
That time he just worked the head with a crushing right hand upstairs, and it shifted big Kevin McBride. McBride not doing anything offensively. He's on the catching end right now. Mike trying to shift him into position. Finally, he throws a right hand. Then he comes in with his elbows forward and ties up Mike Tyson. Tyson gets his arms free as Joe separates him and says, watch your heads. Big Mike just loading up power shots now. Tyson comes forward, ducks, misses with a wild right hand that sends him reeling back to the ropes. McBride ties him up again and free with the right hand. McBride wants to hook up with his left arm and pummel him with the right hand because that way he can't get hit by the right hand with Mike. The mistake he's making when he does that, he's got to be walking Mike back. If you don't walk him back, Mike's left hand is free, and just what happened in those last two shots is happening. Loading up shots now is Mike Tyson.
And Tyson just missed with that huge right hand to the head at the end of that last sequence, which might have spelled lights out for McBride. Tyson has stepped it up.
Yeah, you know, Dave, if McBride hooks him up and hooks up his right hand, he's got to walk him backwards on his heels. Otherwise, Mike will nail him with left hooks, and that's going to hurt him. Look at this. Was that a headbutt in there? Did I see Mike throw his head up? I'm not sure. We'll have to see the replay of that. It's getting tough in there. I hope there's no frustration on the part of Mike. Loads up the body shot again, just behind the elbow. And I'll tell you this, McBride is going to have one sore set of ribs tomorrow.
And yeah, you talk about him having to walk Mike Tyson back in order to hook him up, but you know what? He hasn't had the propensity to walk him back now. He's back on his heels. He's been in backup mode throughout most of this round.
See, right now, Dave, right now is it? Now he's doing. Now he's walking him back, and Mike can't throw. The guy who did that the best was Francois Boda, and he did it perfectly till he walked into a right hand in the 5th round. And that's probably what's going to happen to McBride, because McBride's not doing it consistently. You see, he's hanging on here in the closing seconds of the 4th. But who expected it to go this far? The crowd loves it. Well, I gave McBride the first 2, and I gave Mike Tyson the second 2, but it's Tyson coming on now.
Take a look at Tyson dominating in round 4. Excellent body shot there. Goes to the back. Look, the head movement, the bobbing as he works his way to the inside, and then would continue the body assault. Then, with McBride backing up, heads came together there. A head shot to the jaw. Quick little shot by Tyson. McBride too tired to hold him off, and that is going to become an increasing dilemma for Kevin McBride, being too tired to hold off a strong puncher.
I thought when I called it that might have been intentional by Mike, but watching the replay, it's just the different size. He caught him with the right hand. He's got McBride back on his heels. McBride on the inside taking it again. How about Mike with his shoulder and elbow that time?
That was not an accident.
No, that wasn't an accident. He did it to the far side of Joe. What happens with Mike when he gets frustrated? He resorts back to some of his street stuff. His McBride with the left hand loads up the right hand, but it sails over the shoulder of the shorter Mike Tyson. McBride now has his jab going, and he's got some sort of second win, even though he gets clipped in the first second here of the 5th round. Go ahead, Dave.
And McBride's got nothing left at this point on his shots because of what Tyson's been able to take out of him. He is really being affected by these body shots. They pay dividends early for Tyson.
McBride just trying to protect his face from the big shot, and he's happy to engage and walk this guy back on his heels, and he tries to throw punches, but look at the power of Mike Tyson as he blasts them. They're right above us right now, and you can almost feel those body shots that Mike is hitting big Kevin McBride with. McBride is as tough as nails. He's hanging in there. Takes a like looping right hand, and if that was a little bit deeper in the chin, you might have seen him on the canvas.
Well, that's a reaction shot by Tyson based on where McBride was. He's tried it twice and just missed, but you know he will go back to it. He's playing off a key as to when McBride drops his left hand.
Oh, there's another semi-low blow that time, and every time it's with the hand on the opposite side of where Joe Cortez is. His McBride getting his jab through and holding Mike off. When he uses that jab, he's successful, but he wants to battle him on the inside with the free hand and not let Mike have his right hand. He doesn't mind mixing it with the left, and that's not bad strategy as long as he's walking him backwards. If he doesn't walk him backwards and Mike has the left hand free, it's dangerous.
And when you are McBride, you've been jabbing early in the fight, and you start taking these punishing shots to the ribs, it makes your jab shorter. You do not want to leave it out there and leave your ribs vulnerable. So Tyson has taken away a weapon of McBride by nailing him with these body shots.
But for the 30-year-old Tyson, there's a fatigue factor too. He's a little bit frustrated too. You see him stumble a little bit. That's a little bit of age advantage, I think. And McBride is hitting him a lot on the inside, and he's got this big body, so there might be a bit of a fatigue factor. We're in the 5th round here. This is scheduled for 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Look at this. McBride's winning this round. How about this? McBride has really got Tyson with a look on his face of frustration. As I say that, he comes forward with his left, but it's protected by the gloves of McBride. McBride nails him with the left hook. Mike misses with his uppercut. The uppercut doesn't miss by McBride. He steps ahead back of Mike Tyson, and McBride is winning the 5th round. This is an important round for him because he won the first 2, then Mike totally controlled it. Big blasting shot to the body by McBride. The uppercut by McBride.
Big shot.
He nails him again with a big
He might be hurt.
I think he might have hurt Mike Tyson. Is McBride trying to do what nobody thought he'd be able to do? Closing seconds now, this round. And look at McBride coming on to bitter ends. And McBride has Tyson reeling on his feet. Look at him, he's pooped.
He really unloaded with those uppercuts at the end of round 5, and that's the signature punch in this stylistic matchup for McBride.
Just hold. Be smart, boy.
And there's urgency in Tyson's corner.
Well, I gave McBride 1, 2, and certainly the 5th. Tyson took 3 and 4. But look at the look on Tyson's face.
Yeah, and here's why. McBride to the body, now finding some room. He forces some room. The uppercuts, the tickets of gold. He scored a couple right there. Tyson trying to tie him up, and McBride able to muscle him and then find even more room for his uppercuts.
And see Tyson get that sneaky low blow in there. He reverts back to the street when things don't go well. All right, let's see if McBride can keep the pressure on Mike. He's going to look of disdain on his face.
He is not a happy guy out here.
He's loading up shots. He's very frustrated. He's going to try and finish off McBride, but McBride wants no part of it. This is a war right now. McBride ties him up, and he's doing the right thing, walking him back and pummeling him on the inside.
And using his strength so that he can try to lay it on Tyson here.
His strength and size. Can Tyson stay within himself? No time has been called.
Joe Cortez will reestablish control of the fight with the fighters.
Did he try to do something with the elbow of Kevin McBride? Joe Cortez warned Tyson about something. As a low blow, is Mike Tyson going to resort to the street? We've seen what appears to be intentional low blows. Unbelievable shots. He keeps
Another
coming
bad
forward.
cut from McBride.
All right, time has been called. And let's see what's this all about. Oh, McBride is cut by the eye. I don't know whether it was intentional or not. I've got no indication from Joe Cortez that that was an intentional headbutt.
That will be a key ruling by Joe Cortez, especially since this fight is tight on the cards.
All right, he calls Mike Tyson over, and he's taking a point away for an intentional headbutt. That is very, very key because it affects the scoring definitively here. The crowd doesn't like it. Is he taking 2 away?
He's taking 2.
Joe Cortez, is that 2 points? Joe, is that 2 points? We're trying to get the referee. There's 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 6th round. And now let's see what goes on here as he sends him to neutral corners. We're still not sure if he took 1 or 2 points away. He can take 2 away if it's intentional. Okay, Mike loads up the right hand. McBride says, come on, you want to mix it up? Let's go. We got a survivor.
It's nasty in there, and McBride, pain in his elbow.
Yeah, but he's not quitting on this guy. He's cut around the eye. His obviously has pain in his shoulder. Mike did something to his shoulder, but Mike is fighting viciously now. Really nailed him with the right hand on that left side of the face. Back upstairs inside is Tyson. He's letting it all fly here in the 6th round. But he's lost the point, so if he doesn't knock him down, he can't win the round. He's lost at least 1 point. We're still not clear as to whether Joe took 1 or 2 points away. But he did rule it an intentional headbutt, so he can take the 2 away.
And we'd go to the scorecards then if this fight were to end for that.
Yeah. Tyson leans forward, tries to nail him. Now he's got to grab him and walk him back. He's letting Tyson come through the kill zone now without throwing. Here's McBride battling for all he's got. And there he is, back grabbing him again and pummeling it. This is working, and walking him back on his heels. When you do that, you get no power. I don't know how serious that cut is by the eye. We'll see it in between rounds. Mike loads up, and he misses. In here, he's got to grab. It's the only way it works. It's not pretty, but that's the way you got to fight this guy. We're in the 6th round, and who dreamed it would be here? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dan.
all the tall guys he's fought, the Bone Crushers, the Tony Tuckers, getting inside, always a difficult assignment for the smaller guy. And we saw some bobbing and weaving earlier from Mike Tyson, but we're not seeing him work his way to the inside. He's trying to mug his way onto the inside, and so it's harder for him.
Looping right hand again inside by Mike Tyson. Now, here's McBride. Comes with his own uppercuts inside. You know, it depends on how the judges score this round. I think you got to give the round to Tyson at this stage, but here's McBride coming back. This is a close round. Can you imagine if McBride wins this round? It's a 2, maybe 3-point round, which is very significant, and I'm not sure how to score with a break there. As Mike loads him up with a shot, McBride hanging in there, leans on him, and Mike just sits down this time. It's no knockdown. And Mike didn't seem to want to get up, but strange things happening. He wants Joe Cortez to help him up. Has Mike hurt his leg, I wonder, or his knee? Is he looking for a way to quit? I don't know. Well, you know, Dave, we're getting as good as night of that.
We saw a lot in this round.
Tyson wins a round, it's 10-9, right? He gets a point taken away, it's 9-9. That's the only way I can score it. At the end of the round, it was very strange. Tyson appears to be out on his feet. Take a look at that cut. It's a bad cut.
Remember, opened up by the heads, and so that will be prominent if they stop it for this reason. And the corners have a tough decision to make about whether to push for it or not based on how they feel the guy is doing in the fight. Here they are.
Here's the arm. This is good.
It's like an arm lock. Tyson's got the arm locked, and we saw the pain from McBride right after this.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Is it over? Called the fight.
Is the fight over?
Has Tyson quit on a stool? He may have.
Well, evidently the fight is over. We're going to have to get the official story of this. But McBride has upset Mike Tyson. And have we seen the end of Mike Tyson now? How many more comebacks can he have? Was he injured? What happened at the end? He sat down. A lot of questions, folks. I can't answer for you. But Kevin McBride has won this fight. What an upset. Tyson has been involved in some of the biggest upsets in the history of boxing. It started with Buster Douglas, and it may have ended with Kevin McBride.
With Danny Williams in between.
There's no explanation as to what happened at this stage. We got to find out what happened, and we'll have to wait and hear what Jimmy Lennon has to say. I'm not clear as to whether 1 or 2 points were taken away. It's all academic because Kevin McBride has upset Mike Tyson. Everybody in County Monaghan and Ireland, go out and have a pint for me. The Guinness will be flowing in County Clare tonight.
Well, and this is an event, really an international spectacle.
Oh, it's huge.
It really is.
It's huge.
And nobody gave Kevin McBride any chance. And that's the beauty of it. So that's why you have to put the fights in the ring and see them unfold. The question of which Mike Tyson would we see? It's deteriorated.
My pal Alex Vella and his wife Heather, they run the Rebels Club down there in Australia. He said, you know something, Bob? I'm going to predict, because my son won a big upset, my young enemy said, McBride's going to beat this guy. And he was right. It's Alex Vella.
So Mike Tyson is looking to collect his thoughts as Kevin McBride is exultant in victory here. What a just tremendous achievement for him.
Well, it's a great
using the big
McBride.
Using the big guy's size.
We get some Irish guy yelling over us like we're not thrilled. Hey, my son, I'm from Ireland. Get out of here.
And gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 6. Upon suggestion of the corner, our referee in charge, Joe Cortez, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, the Clonus Colossus, Kevin McBride.
So the decision made in the corner for Mike Tyson not to come out. We saw the look on his face throughout the round, at the end of the round, and sitting down voluntarily It was a foreshadowing of things to come.
Well, I wondered if he injured himself. I still don't know, folks, why he didn't get off. He must be injured in some way. He sat very awkwardly. It looked like maybe some problems. I'm sure we're going to hang around here for some interviews, and our technical guys. Here's Jim Gray now with Mike.
That's Steve. Mike, first let's start with you. Did you want to continue?
Well, I would like to continue, but I saw that I was getting beat on. I realized I don't think I have it anymore because I got the ability to stay in shape, but I don't got the fighting guts, I don't think, anymore.
When did you recognize that? At what part of the fight?
I don't know, early into the fight. I'm just sorry I let everybody down. I just don't have this in my heart anymore.
Did you feel as though you had it coming into the fight?
No, I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my appearance. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah, that's most likely. I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fighters.
Jeff, why did you decide to step in at this point and tell referee Joe Cortez that you didn't want him to continue?
I told everybody from day one when I came here that as somebody, I love Mike, and that's enough. I could see that, he done his best for those rounds. And listen, he wouldn't have done 6 rounds like that, 6 months ago, 12 months ago. He done great rounds. I'm so proud of him today, and I want him not just to get, we lost, but hey, a lot of great fighters lost the last fight. Jeff Fennick did. I want him to go out happy, proud, and able to look after his children. That's what he can do today.
Mike, how difficult is this for you emotionally and mentally to see this come to an end after the career you've had?
Not much, because I don't have any desire for this anymore, so I basically don't care much about the sports. I'm sorry to disappoint the people. I wish they can get their money back some kind of way.
You seemed as though in the 6th round like you were fighting for your career not to end with the headbutt. Was it intentional?
No, but I'm just in there fighting, and I'm a little desperate, so I'm trying to win.
Mike, a lot of people wonder what you'll do now with your life. Boxing has been your whole life.
Well, I'm sure I'll find something to do. Boxing doesn't define me. I'm just sorry to disappoint the people in the city. I know I didn't have it in my stomach no more, but I was in dire needs to take care of my life.
Is Kevin McBride a good fighter, or was he just somebody who caught you now at the end of your career?
Well, I can't take anything away from Kevin, but your guys know the situation. People in the boxing world know the situation.
I know you've lost tonight. I know it's difficult, but are you in a better place in your head mentally at this portion of your life than you've been in the past?
Oh, definitely. I have different friends, different associates. I don't even associate with my old crowd and associates no more. I don't get involved with that. I'm in a different world right now, a totally different spirit.
Mike, we appreciate your time. It's been great to watch your career. It's been up and down. We've seen a lot of things out of you, and tonight we appreciate your sportsmanship and the way you've handled this.
Thank you very much, Jim Gray.